Imagine being born into a world of power and luxury. That was the reality for Xerxes, the fourth king of kings of the Persian Achaemenid Empire. Born in the year 519 before the Common Era, Xerxes was the son of King Darius I and Queen Atassa. From a young age, Xerxes was immersed in the opulence of the Persian royal court. His days were filled with lessons on governance, culture, and warfare, each one preparing him for the day he would wear the crown. It was a life of privilege, but also one of great responsibility. The royal court was a bustling hub of intrigue and power plays. Xerxes, even as a young prince, was expected to navigate these turbulent waters with grace and wisdom. Every decision, every alliance, every perceived slight could have far-reaching consequences. Young Xerxes, groomed for power, was unaware of the immense challenges that awaited him in the future. In 486 BC, the throne of the Persian Empire beckoned, and Xerxes, the chosen prince, ascended to become the king of kings. With the death of his father, Darius the Great, Xerxes inherited not just the throne, but also the challenges that came with it. His early years as the ruler were far from smooth sailing. Egypt and Babylon, two significant territories under the Persian Empire, erupted into revolts. But Xerxes, demonstrating the iron will of a true king, swiftly and decisively crushed these rebellions. His handling of these revolts showcased his ability to maintain control and uphold the power of the Persian Empire. These victories, however, were merely the prelude to a far grander vision. With the internal threats placated, Xerxes set his gaze towards the west, towards the land of Greece. With the revolts quelled, Xerxes turned his attention to a new target, Greece, a decision that would forever mark his reign. Now imagine this: the year is 480 BC, and Xerxes is standing at the helm of one of the largest invasion forces the world had ever seen, ready to conquer Greece. The Greco-Persian Wars were a series of conflicts that pitted the massive Persian Empire against the comparatively tiny city-states of Greece. Xerxes, with an empire that stretched from India to Egypt, was determined to extend his dominion to Europe as well. The Battle of Thermopylae was one of the most iconic clashes of this war. Here, the Persian army, which numbered in the hundreds of thousands, was held off by a small force of Spartans led by King Leonidas. For 3 days, the Greeks held their ground against the Persian onslaught. But ultimately, they were betrayed by a local resident who revealed a mountain path that led behind the Greek lines. This allowed the Persians to outflank the Greeks, resulting in a Persian victory, but at a heavy cost. Xerxes, undeterred by the heavy losses, pushed on towards Athens. However, the Greeks, led by the cunning Themistocles, had a plan. They lured the Persian navy into the narrow straits of Salamis, where the size of the Persian fleet became a disadvantage. In the ensuing Battle of Salamis, the Greek fleet, using superior tactics and taking advantage of the confined waters, managed to defeat the larger Persian navy. This was a crushing blow to Xerxes. His path to conquer Greece was not as clear as he had anticipated. The defeat at Salamis not only halted his advance, but also marked the beginning of a series of setbacks for the Persian Empire. The Greeks, united and emboldened by their victory, began to push back against the Persian invaders. Despite the initial victories, the defeat at Salamis was a turning point, marking the beginning of the end for Xerxes' ambitious plans. Even a king as mighty as Xerxes could not bend the will of a people determined to defend their homeland. The Greco-Persian Wars thus serve as a reminder that numbers alone do not guarantee victory, and that the underdog can indeed triumph against overwhelming odds. Like all great tales, Xerxes' story also meets a tragic end. As the years rolled on, Xerxes, the once mighty king, found himself increasingly estranged from his subjects. His grand dreams of conquest and glory had given way to a growing sense of disillusionment and disconnect. His once loyal subjects began to see him as a ruler whose ambitions had led to immense loss and suffering. The dissatisfaction was not restricted to his subjects alone. Even within his own court, resentment was brewing. A plot was hatched in the shadows, culminating in his assassination in 465 BC. Artabanus, the commander of the royal bodyguard, along with Megabyzus, a high-ranking official, were the masterminds behind the plot. Xerxes' rule, marked by grandeur and bloodshed, had come to a sudden and violent end. Thus ends the tale of Xerxes, a king who dared to dream big, whose life was a testament to the highs and lows of absolute power.